What would you do if you saw an elderly woman lying in the street, obviously in distress?
Well, you would like to think you would go and help, that you would stop whatever you're doing, whether you're driving, walking, and do something about it. But then be honest. Stop and ask yourself, would you? Because that wasn't the case for 83-year-old Joan Veysey. Joan lay in agony. She fell over, and despite pleading with passers-by to help, no one stopped.
Not one person stopped. Well, her daughters, Dena and Joanne, are understandably appalled by this. They're with us now. First thing I've got to ask is, how is Joan? How is your mum?
She's getting better. She's bruised still, but started to go out at the weekend, which was 2 weeks after it happened. So she's getting there slowly.
She'll have lost a lot of confidence within herself.
Yes.
And you guys have lost a lot of faith in human nature.
Yeah.
Has Mum done the same? Because we don't know if she tripped, if she had a little dizzy spell, whatever happened. She's in her 80s, she hits the ground, she's bruised, she's bloodied, she's battered. She has no idea where she is, and she reaches out for help and cries for help. How horrifying is it for you to think? I mean, you weren't there. You feel guilty. I wasn't there. I feel guilty. But for people who were there and who did nothing.
Did nothing, no, just drove by. One particular lady stared at her and she pleaded for help.
Yes. She'd stood up by then. She was on the floor. She didn't know how long she'd been out. She'd knocked herself out. A broken nose, 2 black eyes. She managed to get up. She'd asked a young man if he could help her while she was on the floor, but whether he couldn't understand English or didn't understand the situation, he walked on. So she got up. She pleaded with people that were going towards the roundabout. You know, please help me. This one particular woman stared straight at my mum, and my mum said, please help me, please help me. Looked at her blankly, didn't say to the driver, oh, there's a lady in distress, and just carried on, you know.
And where is this we're talking about?
In Bedford.
In Bedford.
In Bedford.
Just in the town centre?
It's just outside the town centre.
How have the people of Bedford, the local papers, television, radio, whatever, how have they responded to this? How have they acted with it?
We've had people saying, you know, well wishes, etc. But it was just unfortunate, I think, that it was that particular time. 5 minutes later, it could have been 10 people could have stopped.
What time of the day was this?
It was about midday.
Yeah.
So a busy time of day.
Yeah, well, we think so.
Yeah.
Sunday is these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's another day.
I mean, we've both got mothers, you know, in their 80s. I mean, I just find that so shocking to think that could happen to my mum and nobody would stop. And it wasn't the fact that they just didn't see her, it's the fact she was even asking, pleading.
Begging
for help.
Yeah.
But there is a term for this, because when I was talking to you beforehand, and I thought to myself, well, I would like to think I would have stopped. And then you think, would you, if you were driving, say, oh, but look, that looks like that nice young man behind me is going to stop, so I'm in a hurry, I'll just drive on. There's a term for this.
Yeah, the bystander's effect.
Tell us about this.
That I was only made aware of it after the East Anglia interview that we had. After they did that, the psychologist was being interviewed saying that there is a bystander's effect where you assume the next person or somebody has already rang the emergency services. They may have already done so. And what I want people to be aware of is don't think that maybe that's what's happened. Just ring, because the emergency services don't mind if they get 100 calls. You might be the only one.
Yeah.
You know?
How did she get help eventually?
She got up and she walked. She had to unlock 2 security gates with a key to get to her bungalow.
Oh, she must have been
She
distraught.
asked the first neighbour.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Did they get an ambulance?
They called an ambulance, and waited with her. And
what...
the silly thing is the hospital is a 2-minute drive from where she was. I mean, even if you just rang and called an ambulance, or somebody could have spared 5 minutes.
Yeah. How is this? Obviously, we've seen her injuries there, broken nose, terrible bruising. God love her. How is she emotionally after all this?
My mum's a very proud woman, and she wouldn't tell you how she was feeling. She wants to be brave, and that's what hurts us.
She wants to thank everybody.
She does. She wants to thank all the well-wishers. She just can't believe, you know, this has all happened, but...
Well, what do you two want to happen now as a result of this? Why, you know, as a result of doing this interview today, What are you hoping will change?
Well, we just hope if it happened anywhere else, somebody can perhaps remember and they would be that person to make that phone call. Just basically that, really, just to save someone else what Mum went through, really.
Yeah.
It could have been more serious. Luckily, minor, I suppose, broken nose, 2 black eyes, but it could have been worse, couldn't it?
Do you know,
It
on the
could.
programme yesterday, I was talking about something that bugs me at the weekend, where you walk down the street and you pass people as close as you, and you say, morning, and they don't answer you, right? You become absolutely invisible to other people around them. Maybe this is just a sign of modern-day society, but maybe by poking people and making them aware that we all inhabit the same airspace and we all need each other, maybe you will achieve something.
Yeah,
I think so. It would be good.
Well,
I think particularly an elderly lady like that, you know, if it's a young, somebody, you might say, oh, well, I thought that person was drunk, or I thought they were, you know, but for an elderly lady who's actually asking, saying, please help somebody.
Yeah.
We're so sorry that's happened to your mum. I'm glad she's on the mend. Hello, Joan, if you're watching.
Will Joan be watching?
Yes.
Morning, Joan. Get well soon. We're so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
Thank
Joan,
you
you're looking,
very
and
much.
your daughters did you proud today. Absolutely brilliant.